Tradition in today's game, guys. So let's pretend that Bob Chesney is our coach now, and Terry Smith is on the team. If you guys are good on time, then can we take the Penn State tradition, like Jared said the other night? That was a very eloquent speech Jared gave about the tradition of, Penn State. I mean, it's tradition. I mean, look at my dad. I mean, he's tradition of Penn State. That's old school, right there. He used to walk to games from Ghetto Wise all the way to Beaver Stadium. You guys know where that's at. That's by the State College High School. And he saw Bear Bryant on the sideline, like, whew, so that's old school football right there. So can we tie, because you can do it both. You can do both. Tie the tradition of Penn State, which Franklin supposedly didn't do, which is, again, I'm okay. But can we tie the tradition of Penn State into today's game, which is NIL and the portal? Are we going to pay guys to get them here? Do you, whoever wants to start, go ahead. Everybody give their piece.
Yeah, I'll start. I was, I mentioned earlier to you that I was learning a lot about Bob Chesney and who he is over the last couple of days. Looking into and hearing the words that come out of his mouth, he does seem to get it, that we are in a new era of college football. It is what it is. We don't have to like it. You don't have to love it, but you do have to work with it. And he seems to embrace the idea that, hey, your teams are going to be a mix of your mercenaries, your portal guys, and you're going to have your traditional football kids coming in from high school. But one thing that he said, I think it was his Barstool Sports interview that I was looking at, was that it was super, super important that you do not make the mistake like Mike Norvell made. Now, he didn't say Mike Norvell specifically, but where you just go hard to the portal and forget all about traditional recruiting, because that can blow up in your face really bad.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like he got the idea to me that you've got to mix both. You've got to do well in your high school stuff, but then you need to have a good dedicated staff to work that NIL, to work that mercenary group, right? Where you're bringing in those talent guys that fill the empty spots that you're still working the guys up for. And he seemed to grasp that ideally you build from the high school group as much as you can, and then you just fill holes where you need to with NIL. So
I want to make this comparison real quick, guys. Joe Paul just said about Terry Smith makes the most sense. Listen, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but let's use the kind of a loose analogy, but in a quicker window. Brett Favre was at the Packers, and he was, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But he was a Packer. That's what he was. He was a Green Bay Packer. He'd been there, established. And then Aaron Rodgers comes in, and he sits under Brett Favre for years, and he's a Hall of Famer now. They'll both be Hall of Famers.
Yep.
If you have Terry Smith at Penn State, you're bringing in your backup future starting quarterback in Bob Chesney. Terry, let's say he comes in and he's the head coach, Bob Chesney. But you have Terry Smith, the veteran quarterback, if that makes sense, there, keeping him under his wing, teaching him the ways, holding the roster together.
Penn State tradition, all that.
Yeah, maybe I could have used a better analogy, but does that make sense? I mean, you're bringing in a guy who he's not going to be doing it himself. He's going to have a ton of help. And he needs that. That is a perfect situation. You have a Terry Smith, and then you bring in a Bob Chesney, a young guy. He's like, how old is he? He's like a couple years older than us.
47, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 48.
48? Well, he looks younger than that.
Yeah, I know. He looks younger than me. I almost feel bad.
But you're bringing in a guy who, yes, he's the head man, but dude, he's gonna have so much help. He's gonna learn so much. I mean, he's got an AD in Pat Kraft, who is he's a monster, man. Like he is one of the best. And I knew when he came in that changes were going to be made. So I think that's the best way I could see it is we're bringing in our future starting quarterback, but it's going to take the veteran is going to be giving them a lot of guidance starting out. So, yeah.
Yep, Terry Smith, Jim Knowles will stay. I think they'll both stay. Stan Drayton, I think, did a pretty good job overall. I think you retain Stan Drayton if he wants to stay. Marcus Higgins, they could probably get rid of him, to be honest with you. Marcus Higgins hasn't done all that much here. Good luck to him. OC, you got to get a new OC. Andy Kolnicki he's going to revert back to his old ways and ruin our season again. So not really trying to see that. We've played this tape before, so yeah.
Franklin Natty, welcome back.
There he is.
Thank you for giving us a laugh. Bob Chesney he's going to keep Terry Smith. He'll keep Ty Howell, I think.
Ty Howell, yeah, have to.
Poindexter, absolutely. And I think he should really try to keep the Letterman, Dan Connor, Alan Zamitis, Jordan Lucas,
Deion Barnes.
Who not Anthony Scrotto. Calvin Lowry was at Penn State coaching at one point. But I remember when because Calvin Lowry was with the Titans and Alan Zamitis was with the Bucks. And I remember I saw him at the Blue White game one time walking back. I was with this girl. We're walking back to our dorms, and this kid had a 21 jersey on. And I said, "You know whose jersey that is?" He said, "No." I said, "That's Alan Zamitis." And then like 10 minutes later, I saw him walking. Pretty funny.
Wow.
But you guys, Jared, you want to give? What do you think about tying tradition in?
So I'm going to throw this number out. 1901. Okay. So tell me if this sounds familiar. For the glory of old state, for her founders strong and great, for the future that we wait, raise the song, raise the song. That was written in 1901, 25 years before Joe Paterno was born. Just throw that out there. That song is 25 years older than Joe Paterno. So there was tradition even before that man was alive. So
Absolutely.
there's an idea that whoever comes in can maybe have the start of their own tradition, have a new kind of pride in knowing that those words, you're always a part of that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like your coach has always had their name attached to that. So I feel as if whoever the new head coach is could very well start a new tradition with the old ideas, with the old values. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why they've been there for so long. The words are so great. The words are just, they get in your head. That's really what they're there for. You just don't forget. You're supposed to not forget about those things. That's what makes them tradition. And I feel like with the new guy, knowing that that is always going to be there, that as long as you know that's what you're coming into and what you can carry with you as a head coach, that's your responsibility to just keep those words going, to keep that tradition alive. Now, with all the new things between NIL and transfer portal, yes, it's not going to be easy to keep tradition, but it's always going to be there no matter what. If we can just find 70 to 80 guys to get on that roster and all have the same idea for 2-3 years tops with the new head coach, that's really all the more I can ask for.
I will say, Jared, I'm glad we ditched the pink uniform stuff.
Yeah.
We did make one mistake.
That's a great point. Yeah. Terry did say today in his presser he talks to Franklin a lot. That kind of terrified me, if I'm being honest. So
that is a little concerning. Yeah, for sure.
I get it.
It'll dwindle out here. Frankie
Yeah.
Boy's going to be too busy getting the best people in PA, so
But he's
not going
not-
to have time to talk to Terry.
By the way, Franklin Natty, real quick, man, Pennsylvania is not the entire United States. It's just one state. So
One state.
I don't know. Like Peterson's from Minnesota, and he didn't even spell it right.
Yeah.
But
I hooked you up though, man. Don't worry. I fixed your spelling.
good analogy, Jared. Good
Well,
Jared's,
to be fair,
Jared's a theater guy.
Terry
Jared
didn't say what they were talking about. He might have
Yeah.
been calling them to make fun of him.
yeah, I think he called him and be like, yo, where do you normally eat? Because I'm gonna go there, make an appearance, and now they're gonna like us all again since you probably ruined it when you went.
He probably texted Terry, yams or mashed potato. He texted him something stupid. That's what he said.
Dude,
Yeah,
if I was a
Thanksgiving present.
If I was a media member in those press conferences, if he asked me my favorite food, I would have been like, roast Buckeye. That's my favorite food. Actually, I think I commented that on one of those one time. I was like, roast Buckeyes. That's my favorite Thanksgiving food,
Yeah,
but we'll never have it.
I could eat that every day of the week, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Brett, what do you think about? Who talked about tradition? Aaron, Jared.
They both did, yeah.
Brett,
Tradition's everything, man. Keeping the Penn State tradition in there. So putting stuff back in the Joe Pa era, back in the Lash building and stuff, I don't know who took it down, right? Did Franklin actually take it down? That's what
O'Brien didn't. I know that.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's weird. It needs to go back up instantly. It has to go back. You got legends that played there and coached there with Joe Paterno and Joe Paterno himself. So tradition is everything. I think Adidas is going to keep the tradition with it because obviously, guys, we're going to Adidas next year, 2026. So I think they might do a flashy, like a greatness jersey, but they might switch it up a little bit. But I think they respect Penn State enough. They wanted us, right? They're offering $300 million to be a part of Penn State. So I think they'll keep tradition. They respect Penn State. So I think that's pretty cool. Nike is a Penn State tradition, obviously, since we've had them, but they're lowballing us, man, because our name's not Oregon. They're lowballing us. So
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Really. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Brett, because
it's disrespectful. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's some behind the scenes stuff with that whole Nike and Adidas thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nike is in Oregon. Everybody knows Nike fully backs Oregon. They just live Oregon stuff. And so there was some question about, they're lowballing us because they don't really favor us.
Yeah.
And they kind of prefer Oregon. And now that Oregon's in the Big Ten, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't a big deal before. So I think that had a lot to do too with Adidas saying, hey, we will step up and replace them for that. So
yeah. Franklin Natty says Virginia Tech has Nike, the best brand for the best programs. You guys are probably getting $500K a year, so that's nothing. So you guys can take a hike.
Coupons to McDonald's isn't proper payment, so
you guys should be sponsored by McDonald's, not
Aaron. Hey guys, should I block Franklin Natty, or are you entertained by him?
He's all right so far.
He's fine.
He has an IQ of like -7, so
he's completely delusional. Yeah, I want to see an IQ test. Right? Wait, we have to pop quiz him because we told him we'd pop quiz him. He did show up for it. So we'll see.
Is Peterson from Minnesota? True or false?
What state is Troy Hoon from? What is Franklin's favorite dinner?
I have a clue where Troy Hoon's from. He's west of Pennsylvania, so you can narrow it down.
Narrow it down. There's 49 other states that he's from. I think he's too.
Yeah. I think if Brett, if you're good, it's simple, guys. Like honestly, I said simplify the offense. They did. I mean, my God, look at what they did the other night. Just simplify the offense. You can be conservative. You can be the opposite of that on offense, aggressive, whatever you want to do. You just have to simplify things. These guys are kids, and they got a lot on their minds, especially with all this stuff going on. So if you just simplify things, then, you can do it. So to simplify tradition with Penn State, you can absolutely take the tradition of Penn State and tie it into today's game. You just hit the portal and you embrace NIL. That's all you got to do. What are you laughing at? Ask Franklin Natty if he still thinks Katron Allen will be playing for Virginia Tech next year with 0 years of eligibility left. Refurbished stadium, yep. New Adidas deal and a new coach.
That's what I was laughing at. Yeah.
What? Well, Adam Brenneman apparently knows nothing about anything, according to several people. So many people, when they said that, so many people were like, Adam Brenneman doesn't know anything. It's like, oh, okay.
Adam Brenneman's just putting out his thoughts on who he thinks should be the Penn State head coach, and I like Adam, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I like Adam. I knew him when he was at Penn State. Like, he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Unlike Hackenberg, he's a really nice guy. But yeah, so in terms of tradition, I think they can easily tie it in. I mean, I don't know. It just has to be embraced, you know? You can't, like someone said the other night, the best thing I've seen, Terry Smith said in his post presser, we're going to be blue collar. We're going to take our lunch pails and go to work. And someone said, well, you can't be blue collar and, you know, just think it's going to work. You have to bring guys in. It's like, that's not what he's saying. Whoever we bring in, however you bring them in today's game, you're going to go to work. That's what you're going to do. And you're not going to be a prima donna. So that's what he's saying. Like, that's never bad to be blue collar in football, you know? So I just learned, yeah, dude, you're learning, you're learning a lot.
You're learning you would have got held back 3 years if you went back to high school.
Yeah, like you're literally living in a cave somewhere, whoever you are. But yeah, I think it's simple, guys. Like, I just hope the new guy embraces that, and I think a young, hungry coach.
Yep.
Not that he's going to be forced into it, but I just hope he fully embraces it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And let's say you get a Brian Hartline. Dude, that guy is literally Ohio State born and bred. So I don't know if he can come in and truly, you know,
truly adapt and like really fight for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. He would have to like.
And you want to guess that Chesney's probably a Penn State guy.
Yeah, Chesney doesn't have to go through hypnosis just to come here. Like Brian Hartline might have to. Like just
he's probably an Eagles fan too, Aaron. So
yeah.
But
listen, I'm not an Eagles fan, but like I like the Eagles. I was very mad for what the heck just happened last year. Very mad.
Yeah.
Because I hate the Cowgirls more than anybody. So
we have to let the Cowboys feel good once in a while.
That was just bad coaching, horrendous coaching. Like
it was terrible.
Horrendous.
Tulo may not be our coordinator for long.
This poor guy just lost to Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
You're going to be forever known as the guy who gave Shedeur Sanders his first NFL win.
Bro, Pete Carroll is cooked, man. I don't know if Gino's cooked or Pete's cooked.
Listen, he can do jumping jacks as much as he wants. Just don't do it in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
just don't.
All right,
leave.
To finish up here, guys. Again, I don't even know. This is Irish prestige, bro. This is Irish prestige.
It's got to be him.
Just saying he's Franklin Natty. But Saquon is going to Virginia Tech. So, Aaron, you guys need to take a running back in the draft this year.
Yeah.
I've been spamming recruits DMs, trying to flip them. Rojas blocked me. I don't know why. Yeah, I have no idea. Where does that LSU goes after Heupel if they don't get Lane? Okay. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to say, I think we're good. We've made our points. But yeah, we got some good news with Chris coming on. I think it sounds like it's locked. Bob Chesney's locked in. That's what it sounds like. But you know, we've said that a few times about Drinkowitz and Matt Roll, and so
yeah. But a couple people said it's locked now. So like the chat.
Yeah, I don't know who Phenomenal Brew is. He's been in here before, but He must be in the know because the big name mystery. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it would be. Heupel is the mystery Penn State candidate. Yeah,
the big name mystery was probably Kalen DeVore, dude. That's what it was.
I guess you would think. Right?
Has to be. That's a big name. I mean, he does have a good record. He does, but I'm not impressed. Like, I don't know. I'll take Bob Chesney, like you said, the younger guy who's more hungry.
And I don't see it with DeVore just because it's kind of the same thing with the Mike Elko job. I didn't see a scenario where it made sense. Mike Elko is not a Penn State guy. He's not.
Yeah.
And he, like A&M, while they don't have the scope that Penn State does in terms of the region and fan base support. They're still a very big school and they got a lot of oil money. So I just don't see like Elko. If you're in Elko's shoes, what's the point? Right, it doesn't make a lot of sense to uproot your whole family from College Station, Texas, and go all the way to Penn State. I don't see why, right? And DeVore's kind of the same way. But then again, I said that about DeVore before he ended up in Alabama. I was like, what in the world would you leave Washington State to go to Alabama for? No offense to Alabama fans. Yes, your program is best program in college football history. I get it. Yes, true. But DeVore had very little to gain from making that move, and he had already gotten Washington. I mean, we talk about having a statue made of you. If you stay at Washington and you keep getting the national titles, you're going to get a statue there. There's no question about that. So I was shocked that and I will tell you, I lived in the Deep South. I spent a lot of my life in the Deep South in the Army. I lived in Louisiana for 2 years. I lived in Georgia. I lived in Kentucky, Tennessee, and I spent a lot of time in Texas in training. And I can tell you, there is no world where I leave Washington State to go live in Alabama. No offense, Alabama folks. It's just, most honest Alabama and Louisiana folks would tell you, yes, you wouldn't do that. So.
Okay, so I'll just say this real quick to Jeffrey, whatever your name is. For one thing,
the most delusional thing I've ever read.
And the definition of an Aggie is a student at an agricultural school.
They have 0 natties, right? They've never won a natty.
So let's take a Nittany Lion who would literally eat that guy.
What are we talking about?
That already makes it better. So
no, they're not. Yeah, Texas A&M is not a better school than Penn State. They are just a different school than Penn State.
Yeah, like A&M. I don't know why he would leave there because, like you said, oil money. Their band is like, it's the SEC, man. The only thing that I could see him maybe leaving. Yeah, is because if he has one bad season, like he could be cooked, and he opened his career losing to Notre Dame at home, but then he got him back this year. So,
all right, Jeffrey's getting blocked.
What did he say?
A&M and VT better than when he's the clown talking. So this is when dude's out of his mind.
Go away. At least Franklin Natty said something nice.
Yeah, Franklin Natty's like putting stupid shit. Like, that's crazy.
Like, he's going to take a natty to freaking Virginia Tech. What?
Franklin would stuff Elko in a locker. Bro, I don't think that's physically possible.
I would be really surprised.
I don't think he's fit. That's a big locker.